Chidi, tell your parents what you took from that grave.
We took our ring, our jewelries, our clothes and our shoes.
Diamond Ring is arguably one of the classics of the 90s. This brings me to the memory lane. I mean, I first saw this movie when I was about 9 years old. Now that I'm much more older, I feel the need to have a rewatch just so you don't have to. So Diamond Ring was produced by OJ International and OGD Pictures. It was written and directed by Tade Ogidon. And of course, it starred notable actors such as Richard Mufedamijo, Shola Shobowale, Liz Benson, Bimbo Akintola, Buki Ajayi, and Teju Babyface, amongst others. So the movie opens with Liz Benson. Hey! Wait, why? I don't understand. What is...
This is playing.
Stop it, stop it. Oh my gosh, she's a ghost. No. This is why I get angry about Nigerian films.
I'm sorry, you.
That's not even why we are here, so let's focus. So, this character, I'm going to refer to her as Mrs. Ghost because we never got to know her name in the movie. She is announcing a grand plan to f the life of some humans. Because they deserve it. Why? Because they have refused to let her sleep. She says a lot, but the summary of what she's saying is, you all need to leave me the f alone. So the movie cuts to a university dorm room and we meet the protagonist for the first time, Chidi, played by Teju Babyface. Now apparently Chidi has had some kind of fever and his roommates are helping him wipe his head with a wet cloth.
Like they are cleaning some kind of dirty furniture.
Will you keep quiet?
Sorry, nigga.
Because his school clinic could not quite figure out what was wrong with him, Chidi is sent home so his family doctor could take a look at him. And that's when we meet a super rich parent for the first time in the movie. DK and Ijeoma, played by Richard Mufedamijo and Shola Shobowale. I had to pause this frame in the movie because it took me a while to scream. Like, I mean scream at RMD's outfit. Like, I was overwhelmed by the color scheme. As in, I don't understand. Who was your costumier? We should sue that guy.
Continue.
So the doctor goes to tell them he cannot find anything wrong with Chidi and blots out.
There is really nothing to worry about.
So he says it's most likely the stress of school taking a toll on Chidi and some stupid mother shit. While Chidi's lying in a corner like,
Not be juju be that.
The rest of what he says sounds like gibberish to me.
Bruh.
Some months have passed and Chidi doesn't seem to be getting any better. So Chidi's auntie, played by the late Buki Ajayi, comes visiting from somewhere. And she walks into the living room and greets everybody in the Igbo ward, Kedu. So it occurred to me right here that the makers of this movie did a cast of group of Yoruba people, and I was wondering what was the reason. Why not have the family be Yoruba? At least just to make it convincing. Meet Auntie Elizabeth, who is about to make our story much more interesting. So after taking one look at Chidi, Auntie concludes that the source of his illness is spiritual and refuses to say what exactly Chidi did to bring this upon himself.
There's something you are seeing there. Tell us now.
So this character that Buki Ajayi plays is hinted to have the ability to see spiritual things, which is conveniently in this case, but whatever, I guess.
Chief, if I say it before him, this boy will drop dead instantly.
Ijeoma punctuates every review that Auntie Elizabeth makes with one of this. Which every Nigerian knows is the sign of a typical Yoruba in Shola Shobowale trying to come out. Sometimes we all forget we're acting. Oh my God. I love you, Auntie Shola. I really do.
He is expected to confess by himself.
So DK threatens to whoop Chidi's ass for refusing to confess.
I didn't do anything.
It's not a game with your peers. Okay? You had better start telling me what you did before I descend upon you.
And we're hit with a flashback. Majority of the movie at this point happens to be a flashback. I think the one thing I liked in this scene was the gradual fade of black and white to color. However, when I saw this, I was like, beginning of what?
It's not you.
When? Time? This is not even how to pull a memento with your movie's timeline. And what's the deal with Chike and this red cap?
Photo.
At a point, it felt like he literally wore the same cap in every scene.
It is smoky, boo.
I mean, every scene. So Chidi is prepping to go to the university, and DK seems to be fuming about because the school requires parents to come sign an undertaking promising that his child would behave right.
What is this new order about us coming to school to sign undertaking for our children?
DK doesn't have the time for that. Apparently, his political ambition is much more important.
You know I don't have time to come and be signing any papers in the school now.
On Chidi's first night at the university, he goes for a party.
How do we hear of this?
Dude meets a girl named Bimbo, played by Bimbo Akintola. P.S. Bimbo is way older than Chidi, but I do love it when a guy is confident and goes for what he wants.
Uncle, see back, Bele.
So Chidi befriends a cultist named Lami who also happens to be his roommate. Chidi and Lami are having a conversation like,
The boys want you. See, I don't need any stupid calls to survive my stay here.
after Lami brings Chidi up to speed about Bimbo's constant harassment by lecturers on campus, he begins to consider the idea. Chidi goes to confront Bimbo. Of course, she denies it.
If anybody is messing your education up, I'm your friend. You can tell me. And I'll have the VC do something about it.
Wait a minute.
VC, sha.
You only you waka come.
I don't have any problems with anybody.
When nothing changes after reporting to the VC, Chidi decides to join the cult just so he could protect Bimbo.
To be mumu.
So Chidi's first task was to wreck the office of Mr. Bright, who is constantly harassing Bimbo, and to send a message. So this plan works and Mr. Bright stops being an unfortunate bastard. So Chidi is informed of his next task, and we see him telling the leader of the cult, Dawn, something like, I don't think I want to do this cause it's gross.
Bruh.
And so Dawn gives him a befitting reply.
I will murder your entire family and then you.
So Chidi was able to complete his second task. We were never told what the task was. However, there was a diversion. So the cult breaks into a cemetery and goes into the tomb of a rich dead woman played by Liz Benson.
Open it. That was not part of the assignment, but I order you to open it now. Just remove everything. Listen, guys, this has gone way too far. I'm not going any further with you.
So the cult progresses to swipe all the valuables she was buried with, including the Big Bang diamond ring. Chidi is horrified by this. He wants to leave but decides to go wait for them outside. Not long after they hear the sounds of people approaching, they assume it's the police and decides to make off with as much booty as they can.
Why are you running?
However, it's just a group of another grave robbers who show up.
Àwọn olóṣìkan tí wọ́n parí iṣẹ́ nígbà yìí ní sá. Wọ́n parí iṣẹ́ totally ní sá.
So even though Chidi fails the second test, he's still initiated into the cult by Dawn. Dawn has his reasons. Gaz is not so happy.
Chidi is intelligent, he's likable, he's rich. His monthly allowance will be the salary of some people out there in buoyant banks. If we let him hang loose, all other hawks will grab him super fast.
Dawn even gives Chidi the diamond ring while sharing the things they stole from the dead. Meanwhile, Bimbo is beginning to have her suspicions.
I told you how Dr. Bryce scored me 40%.
Naughty man.
Today, the man called me and once again apologized for all he has ever done.
Good. Very good.
And he had also converted the 40% to 80 overnight.
Wow. Miracles still happen.
Bimbo is of the notion that Chidi might have gone joined himself with a cult.
Chidi, you must know something about this.
But of course I do. You just told me.
Chidi conveniently avoids her numerous questions. That's just when chaos begins. 1. It was Chidi's nagging headache.
Uncle, she's a witch.
She's not the winch, it is the ghost that is. Why am I even explaining myself to you?
Sorry, oh.
2. The cult begins to have disagreements.
I mean, don't let us make him feel alienated. He will be getting the wrong signals.
Let him get whatever signals he wants. Done. With all due respect, you really are not carrying me along in my capacity as your deputy.
Chidi conceives the idea of renouncing the brotherhood.
Look, Lami, I'm going to throw the goddamn ring away.
Lami convinces him otherwise. Lami also convinces him to sell the ring. Chidi, not really having a need from the proceeding of the ring, goes ahead to buy Bimbo a car.
Happy birthday.
I don't know what to say.
Well, a simple thank you will do.
Behind the scenes, all is not well with the brotherhood.
You went and gave the most valuable ring to that stupid boy? The rest of us whose decision it was to get the stuff in the first place, you treat like sham?
Don gets irritated by his deputy's constant nagging and challenge of power.
You are banished from the XG gods.
And Don's decision leads to a massive fallout of the brotherhood. And then they begin to drop dead one by one. Unfortunately, Lami and Bimbo gets in the crossfire. We are then returned to the opening sequence of the movie. In the present, Chidi receives a call where he is informed that Lami and Bimbo has had a fatal motor accident. Lami died on the spot, Bimbo has been rushed to the hospital and is in the need of blood. Chidi, in his failing health, manages to sneak into his parents' room to steal a sum of 20,000 naira, which was needed for Bimbo's resuscitation. Unfortunately, so Chidi returns home and decides it was time for him to confess.
You stole from the dead?
And then they have an invited visitor. We then have a conversation between two spiritual people, and then there is a resolve. And so Chidi's parents proceed to ask him the whereabouts of the ring.
I sold it.
Chidi, you did what? It's okay. Okay, so what is the name of the construction company?
I don't know.
And so the part 1 of this movie ends with Chidi's parents lamenting. It also ends with a tagline. And then we receive the fading. Watch out for part 2. If you saw Diamond Ring back in the 90s, it was a brilliant movie for what it's worth. However, trust me when I tell you I'm still a fan of this movie. I really hope this movie gets a remake, and if it does, I'm definitely going to be among the first set of people who's going to go see it at the cinemas. Thank you for watching this review. Please encourage me by liking and subscribing to this YouTube channel. Till I come your way again with another recap. Peace.